Hi, everybody. It's Alana from Treehouse again. Today, we're very excited to say that we have the amazing Kate Benjamin from Hauspanther with us. Welcome, Kate.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Absolutely.
We are excited to have you.
Well, I'm always excited to talk about cat stuff.
You got a lot of cat stuff in the background there that you're going to make things from.
Yes, that's kind of what I do every day, and I've been doing a lot more of that over the last couple of months, is making all sorts of things, because that's what keeps me sane.
So tell us, what would you say, if people wanted to know that weren't familiar with your work, how would you describe it?
Absolutely. So I run a website and a business that is called Hauspanther, and I started doing what I do in 2007, so it's been quite a while. And basically, I sort of melded together two of my big passions, which is design and cats. And I created this whole company and brand, and my day-to-day life just revolves around those two things. So at the time when I started doing this, I was searching for what I consider to be well-designed products for cats. And that means a couple of things. It means a product or an environment that gives your cats what they really need to live a great life, right? So all of this behavioral enrichment, there are a lot of things that cats can have that gives them this better life. And so I started learning about that. And I was working in the children's product company, and there was this big sort of movement in children's products towards making things look good, right? So there was a lot of interest from people who had children, that just because you have children doesn't mean your house has to look like a daycare center. And I sort of made that leap from children's products over to cat products and pet products to say the same thing. Well, just because I have cats doesn't mean everything I own has to be covered in beige carpet and
the beige carpet.
Yes.
That's the starter cat. Everyone has to have a beige carpet cat tree, right? Or that's what I used to. That's really all you used to be able to get.
Exactly. And that was at that time. That was kind of all anybody ever thought of when they thought of cat furniture or things for your cat. And plenty of people were like, "Oh, I don't want that in my house, but I know I need to give my cat something." So I sort of started this research and I was finding companies that were making beautiful products that were also really well designed for what the cats need. And I started a blog, and it just sort of grew from there. And I've just followed the cat product industry as well as environmental design. So I see Daniel is saying hello. So one of the things that I usually, when somebody asks me what I do, I always say, well, I am not a cat behaviorist. So I can't answer the kind of questions that DQ can. He is definitely the guy for those real cat behavior questions. But what my area of expertise in is how do you create that environment? How do you use design to give cats the very best life that they can have?
And so, and Kate, for people who don't know, is referring to Daniel Quagliozzi. I always have to think twice just to make sure I get it right. Who we've had on here several times answering cat behavior questions, because that's what he does, and he knows both me and Kate from our other cat world things. And so he would be someone who would send people to you. Like, he might recommend something and then be like, "There's some really cool stuff," and then send them over to Kate for finding the cool stuff, right?
Yeah, and that's how I started working with Jackson Galaxy, because he, as a behaviorist himself, he said he was always trying to tell clients, "Oh, you need to do this in your house. You need to build shelves. You need to add a scratcher. You need to put the litter box over here." But they would look at him like he had three heads and be like, "I'm not doing that. That's going to look awful." So he tracked me down and said, "Hey, we need to work together and create information that helps people understand that they can do these things in a way that they can live with, that looks good too." And Daniel, I'm here for you too, of course, always.
Yeah.
So, so Jackson and I worked together to sort of refine this idea of what we decided to call catification.
Mm-hmm.
Catification is basically environmental enrichment for cats that also takes into consideration the needs and the aesthetic value of the people, right? Because my background is in what's really called user-centered design, where you're really thinking about like, how is this thing or this environment going to be used and who is using it? And in the case of cats and cat products and environments, it's not just the cats, but also the people, right? The people have to clean it and live with it and buy it. And so you have two different user groups. And so catification really considers how it functions for everybody, but also how does it look aesthetically? How does it make you feel to live with it? Does it bring you joy or does it bring great dread? You know, that's what we're trying to avoid.
Yeah, I remember the days of having the little beige carpet pieces just everywhere. Like they would just, and you would just step on them and they'd be on your socks and everything.
And I mean, the big beige carpet covered cat towers definitely serve a purpose. I mean, they work really well for cats. They have great texture. They have different levels. They have hideaways. They have open platforms. I mean, they have all the things that cats need. So what I'm here to do is say, well, if you don't really like, you don't want one of those in your house, there are other options that you can purchase. And there's also a lot of stuff you can do yourself. And so Jackson and I wrote 2 books, Catification and Catify to Satisfy. And those books are basically like cookbooks full of inspiration. Like, what can people do in their homes to create these really cool catified environments, but in a way that either blends seamlessly with your decor or creates a focal point that looks like art, something really interesting and beautiful. So in the books, we talk about, you know, like, you don't have to spend a ton of money. You can just be creative and DIY this stuff.
I'm not gonna lie, I still have a beige cat tree.
Many people do.
I surrendered, as DQ tells me, a room to the cats, and I realized Mr. Pants needed to climb, and so I just bought one of those big tall ones, and I let him run up it, and I don't worry about it, and it's fine. But yeah, I think my house is probably in need of more catification in the other rooms. And I know that you just mentioned DIY, and we were going to talk about some DIY things, and I see all your cute little stuff that you've got there. I almost wanted to go like collect toilet paper rolls and just have you tell me like what to do with them.
Oh yeah, you should. I should have had to do that. Well, you'll have to do some afterwards, and here are all your ideas. So I am actually in my studio in downtown Phoenix now, which is why I'm surrounded by all of my craft products and supplies and my hoarding situation. And so I have been very lucky throughout this whole quarantine thing that my husband and I can go from our house to our studio and back and forth pretty much without seeing a single person. So it's kind of like an extension of our house. And so I have been able to be here making my usual things. So soon after I started writing about cats and design, I started making my own line of handmade cat toys. You know, mud kickers and beds and scratchers and things like that. And I was selling those on Etsy way back in the day when Etsy first started. And then that progressed over time. And now I actually have a whole line of cat furniture that is manufactured by a company, Primetime Pets, out of Texas. And I work very closely with them on all the product development. And there's climbing perches and scratchers and beds and toys and all sorts of fun stuff. So here at my studio is where I still continue to make some of the handmade things, and I prototype new ideas to get made through Primetime Pets. So this is kind of like catification, you know, laboratory. So I'm always testing new stuff. And what I found that I started doing during this quarantine was thinking about, okay, how can we all be making some stuff for our cats, since we're home with them all day, right? Most people are now spending a lot more time at home with stuff you have lying around, so that you don't have to run out to the store and get anything. Like, what kinds of things do we have that turn into really cool, enriching, and safe cat toys with the added benefit of upcycling. Yay!
Yay! Yeah, I might have a toilet paper roll. Maybe I can grab one. I feel like I have one of your earlier toys, or like something that you made. Did you make like little? I like in my head. This is always connected to you. I can show it to you. I'm gonna show it to you, and you tell me if this is one of yours, because it's right here with my cat. It's all covered in cat hair. Don't kill me for this one. She's with her bed, but like, isn't this one of yours?
Exactly. And that one is from Joanne at Triple T Studio.
Oh,
yeah, that's the black cat one. But they're my kicker. And yeah, that's kind of what happens to them sometimes.
I'll put that back in with her.
They're very well loved toys. That's good.
Yeah, and it's clearly lasted a long time, because I think I got that probably like 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh yeah. I've been making those for a long time. I see a question here, or a comment from somebody that says that they keep moving different pieces of furniture around to see what your cats will jump on or hide under before you commit to wall shelves and perches and cat trees. Yay! That's exactly what I always preach, is when you're thinking about a big catification, a super highway, like we call it, where you're putting in shelves and perches and ledges, start by just moving around what you've got and test it out. That is such a great thing to do. So great job. Yay.
Yeah, that is a good idea, because some cats like to go high, some cats like to hide lower, right? And so you don't really know what your cat's going to want until you see them doing it.
And in the books we start with sort of the general behavior and how all cats are hardwired, sort of what, understanding the way cats see the world. And then in the next chapter of the first book, we help you then understand your own specific cat. So within that sort of structure of all cats, every cat is individual and has different interests and needs and things that they're afraid of and things that they're attracted to. And so you, through observation, want to really see what your cat responds to. And that can change, certainly. It can change over time. It can change across the time of day, from day to day. And so it's kind of a constant, like, working, it's a laboratory is what I call my house, is where I'm always changing things up and trying new things. Also, cat population changes, right? Some pass away and you get new ones in. We have 3 new kittens. Well, they're a year old now, but it has been fun to have the kittens.
Was it the orange ones that I saw?
The orange ones from yesterday are right here in the bathroom, and they're
not yours.
They're going to rescue. I was just in between. There's 5 orange kittens in the bathroom over here, destroying it, of course. They're about 6 weeks old, and they actually came from a warehouse across the street that needs to do some TNR. And that's the same warehouse where my kittens came from, my 3 black kittens, the Mexican Mafia, Jeremiah Bean Dip, Horatio Queso, and Pico de Gato.
Pico de Gato. Because you're in Arizona, so you're not that far from Mexico, right?
Right, exactly. And I love Mexican food more than anything.
And they might have wandered up from there, and that happens. So can I ask how many cats you have, first of all?
Yes, we have 12 at home, and 2, not counting the fosters, 2 that live here at the studio, who are from there. Mama just walked by. They're from the feral colony outside. When I moved into this building, I've had my studio here in downtown Phoenix in this building for about 10 years. And my landlords are super cat people, and they had already TNR'd the whole colony outside, and so I was helping feed them. And then 2 of these guys we needed to come in. One went blind when he was outside, so we took him in to save him. And then Mama Cat, who is like the leader of the pack, we just fell in love with her and we started luring her in. And now they're old, they're like 15, and they live inside, and they have 3 sofas between the 2 of them. They're very spoiled ex-feral cats.
So they're like little warehouse cats.
They are, but they're the perfect cats to have here. I mean, the whole reason I wanted to have a design studio that was separate from my house is so that I could make a mess, leave things out, and not have cats continue to make a mess and destroy things. And so I thought, oh, what's going to happen when we bring cats in here? And they don't care. They don't jump on anything. They don't they don't even really care about catnip that much, which is good because there's a lot of catnip around here.
They have different interests. Well, so what kind of things are we going to make today? I saw somebody here said we're going to have homework later with TP rolls, which is probably correct.
Now, I showed some of these ideas. I was on Jackson's live Twitch a few weeks ago. We talked about the toilet paper toys, but I have a whole bunch of other things too. So I can show you real quick some of these ideas, and then you can sort of search around your house and see if you've got some of these items and you're really bored and you want to play with your cat. This is the great thing to do. So super easy thing with basically you need just some toilet paper rolls, empty toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls work too. You can just cut them up into little rings. Super easy. If you're not that crafty, anyone can do this. Or then you can take those rings and interlace them and create basically like a ball.
Oh, cool.
And that has little slots in it so that you can, where's my treats? I have a little jar of treats somewhere. Anyway, I don't know where it went.
The cat took them.
Treats in it. Oh, see how they fall out? So you can put little dry food or pieces of cat treats in there, and then as they play with it, it becomes like a puzzle toy. So they have to move it around to get the food to fall out. And that's super fun. And they didn't cost you anything, so that when they get all gross, because usually when you put, greasy treats inside a paper ball, it gets gross. So throw it away and make another one, right?
So do you just they're just held in there by tension?
Yes, exactly. And then you kind of move them around until you create a hole that's big enough for the treat to kind of easily fall out.
Well, that made it worse.
Oops.
Tried to make it better. It made it worse.
So those are fun. So the treat balls. The next one is to just take your scissors and start cutting up about 1 inch on the edges of a toilet paper roll. So you're making fringe. So you're just making a fringe tube. And you cut all the way around, and then you kind of splay it out. And now you have this fun thing. I like to think about whenever I'm designing cat toys, and everybody who designs cat toys, this is an important thing. You think about what prey does it represent, right? So what are the things that a cat would be chasing out in the wild? Mice, birds, lizards, bugs, all those.
Caterpillars.
What?
Caterpillars. DQ and I talked about this the other day, and we were really set on caterpillars.
Yeah. So you want toys that kind of represent each of those, right? So things that skitter, things that fly through the air, things that roll unpredictably, things you can drag along the floor. So we all want to have a variety of toys that have different functions. And so this one has kind of like, these little spiky things that they can grab in their teeth. It's also super light. They can throw it around. I don't know what this exactly would be like, but it would be more like something like the ground prey that they...
A crab.
Yeah, sure. I don't know that they're natural predators of crabs, but...
It looks like one if you flip it and then roll it like a little spiky crab.
And it kind of rolls cool. So anything just think about when you're making anything, how are they going to play with it? Are they going to bat it around? Are they going to chase it? Are they going to carry it in their mouth? Are they going to flip it in the air? All of those things, and that you're just stimulating their natural instincts to be as predators, right? These little predators that live in our house. So one of the other things that I love is the idea of a foraging toy. This is one super simple. I just started with a plain sheet of cardboard, and what I did in order to sort of dress it up and make it so that you could wipe it down in case it gets gross is I used contact paper. And so contact paper
cabinets, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it comes in tons of cute designs and colors and stuff now. So when you're making cat toys that you might want to look a little nicer or be able to be wiped down, it's a really fun thing and easy to integrate in. And if you just go online, you can find all kinds of different cute styles and patterns and stuff. So I covered the bottom piece with the contact paper, and then I just used the hot glue gun to build up the little pyramid. And then what you do is you put the treats inside the tubes, and then the cat is poking their paws in, because that's what they would do out in nature, right? Is they're looking for that next snack, and they're always poking their paws under a rock or in a hole, and that's like such a thing that's hardwired for them to do. So giving them an opportunity to do that it can really help stimulate them mentally and physically. So
yeah, that's cute. So can you make it harder for them by like putting a blanket on it, or?
Yeah, you could do all sorts. You could do these longer. You get totally creative. Here's another version where you cut the tubes. I started with an empty paper box, like one that cat food comes in. And I covered that with the contact paper. And then you just cut your tubes at different heights. You could even make these taller, and that would help with the difficulty level. There are lots of foraging toys you can purchase that have different heights of tubes. And then the treats go in here, and then it sits horizontal, and they have to dig. If you don't want to be giving them too many extra calories or treats, I like using this type of a foraging toy with little toys, like little mice and pom-poms and anything that fits in the tube, because they'll spend their time digging everything out of there.
That is really cute. I like that. My alarms are like going off though at like so many toilet paper rolls, because I'm like, can I get these anymore?
Yeah. Well, we should all have a good supply, right? If everybody's stocked up, eventually it will all become toilet paper rolls.
Yeah. I mean, the toilet paper must be going somewhere. Somebody has it.
I know.
They probably watched like your last live stream, and that's where they all went. And somebody's just making a Kate Benjamin special somewhere.
I had actually scrounged to get as many to make a few versions of these.
Really?
Yeah.
I should start saving them. I've been throwing them away, but
you
the only thing to do.
Get creative. I never throw one away, but I never throw anything away, which is why I have 2,000 square foot studio that is absolutely filled.
Wow, 2,000 square feet, huh? That's a good workspace.
It's twice as big as our house. I know. I have 12 cats at home in 1,100 square feet, and I have 2 cats here in 2,000 square feet.
But I'm guessing at home you probably have that whole thing catified with shelves and all sorts of stuff for them.
Oh, it's insane. Plus, we have a 250 square foot catio. So
nice.
That's nice.
Are there pictures of like your house and how it's outfitted on your website?
There should be some. My catio is definitely in the catio section. But I think if you watch my Instagram, the Hauspanther Instagram, that is where I'm always posting pictures of my cats. And actually, we just redid the catio last week. We cleaned it up and changed some things out. And there's some really fun photos of my cats hanging in the cat's trapeze.
Oh, okay, hold on. I think we could probably show this to people. I haven't tried this feature before yet, but let's see if I do a share screen. Oh, there you are. Okay. So I'm going to try just this, a Chrome tab. Here we go. Got it. Walking you through it. Is that it?
Yeah. So click on that first one. And this is the catio. So that was this morning. And you can see those hanging things are called the cat's trapeze. And Bear, the black cat who's in the top of the far trapeze, he grew up with that thing. Like he and his sister were climbing on that when they were tiny kittens. So he is a big boy now, but he likes to climb the trapeze. So I find that the trapezes, they move, right? They hang from the ceiling. You could prop it up against a wall, but the idea is that it's suspended. So they're great for super active cats, breeds that are very active, or kittens. Oh my goodness. I can't imagine having foster kittens without one of these, because they can just climb it and then they get used to that rocking motion. Some of the older cats who have never been on it before have no interest in it. So it's not for every cat, but it's this really fun thing. It's made out of heavy duty cotton canvas. It comes from the Netherlands, and I sell them on my online store. But I've had these for years, and they're just really fun. What I like most about them on the catio is that they're not on the ground, so it makes it a little easier to sweep.
Yeah. Can you wash those too? Like,
toss
the whole thing in, or do they come apart?
Each 3 compartments has a big zipper on the bottom, so you stuff it with cushions. And so you take the cushions out, and then you can just wash the whole, basically the cover.
Nice. So can I flip here? Are there more pictures?
Yeah. Oh, there's Bear at the top.
Oh, there he is. Look at that. So cute.
Back out and scroll down. There's a lot of cat. There's a picture with the painting with the 2 black kittens sitting under the painting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the boys.
That's at your house?
Yep. And there's probably some of the living room. And there's one on that sofa. Who's on the sofa?
What sofa?
Yeah, back down to the left of the 3.
Oh, there they are. Okay, so you got like a scratcher up here, and
yeah, there's a whole highway that goes all the way around almost the whole room. And if you go back a few months, we made a bridge, a suspension bridge that goes across the window in front of the kitchen. And it's a favorite spot for cats because if you notice, certainly at least your most social cats, where they sit, they tend to want to sit, there's the bridge, in a location in the room or in your house where they can see in multiple directions, right? Mm-hmm. Have you ever noticed that?
That they like to be able to see like all around, right?
Yes, or they sit like in a doorway because they can see this room and they can see that room.
Right.
It makes sense because they're this whole predator-prey thing. They want to see their surroundings and be aware of it. So this bridge kind of hangs down between this opening that goes from the kitchen to the living room, and then they can also see straight through the living room into the bedroom. So they love it because they are in such control. They're like the big lion in the tree.
Do you ever find that like more of them than one are up there at the, like how many are up there go up there at a time? Why can't I talk?
The boys are the kittens, the black kittens. There's been a couple of little, King of the Hill moments there. Oh, somebody wants an adjustable door, like a baby gate for cat introductions. I have not an easy thing to buy. I did a DIY for that. Oh, and I don't know if there's any pictures on my Instagram, but I'm going to have to post pictures of this. So we have 2 of the 12 cats at home. Didn't really socialize very well, and they're way over on the prey end of the predator-prey spectrum. So when they go out into the general population, they just immediately become what we call wallflowers, and they hunker down, and everybody else, all the kittens, the young cats, just dive for them and think, oh, prey, oh, it's time to play. You want to play, don't you? And they don't want to play. And so they live in the office, which is also fully catified. And the other cats actually can come and go in there now. I'm training them. And the way we started training them is that I replaced the door with a screen door that we purchased, a beautiful wooden screen door. And I replaced the screen with this mesh. And we painted it. And we put on fancy hardware. And we put trim all the way around it. And it looks really good. So instead of closing the door, we just have this mesh screen door, and it allows airflow. It allows those cats to feel like they're part of the rest of the world. It allows the cats to sniff each other through the door. So DQ, it's not a short-term solution. It's like a full-on replace your door with a screen door. But I got to tell you, it really works very well. So
yeah, he's talked a lot about a resort to like baby gate on top of baby gate on top of like something else, and they can still climb them. So that's
and the reason you're doing that is because you assume it's just going to be a temporary thing for introductions. So a solution like this is more like, oh, this is going to be like this for a while. Let's actually just put in a whole door. But I gotta show it to you because it sounds awful. It sounds like, oh, you have a screen door in your house, but we pulled it off, and I'm really pleased with how it looks.
I mean, I think a screen door can probably work fine inside a house. I have a problem where on the porch that I gave to the cats, I can't really have a door there. Like it doesn't fit because there's already one door in one way, and like there's just nowhere to put it. And so the people who used to have this house had an accordion door, which I took that out. But I ended up having to put like, because my older cat, I gave him one baby gate and he ended up being skinny enough to just slide right through it. So then I had to put a second gate and then the other cats were jumping it and they had a third gate. It was such a mess. And then finally I just gave up and just let them go around. And that actually worked better. So yeah, but I mean, that would be nice if there was at some point some kind of solution that would be like temporary and larger. But
yep, I know. I've been toying around with it. Yeah, because the company that makes my product line, that's what they do is dog gates. That was what they did before I started working with them, and they still specialize in dog gates. So working on it. We need to
thinking about it.
So I have toys.
You have a what?
I have more toys to show you.
Yeah, let's see more toys.
Okay, so another thing you might have lying around, or how about this question? Has anybody cleaned out their closet during this quarantine?
I've been avoiding it.
And well, if you did, maybe you found some old t-shirts that you are not going to wear anymore. So this is a whole group of t-shirt based cat products that I think are super fun. So if you find really colorful ones, one thing is super easy. Wait, hold on. I forgot the thing I need. Hold on.
It's okay. I can just dance for everybody while you're gone. I'm certain they'll enjoy that just as much.
Okay, so let's do, first of all, something super easy, a little catnip pod, right? So find a cute colored t-shirt that you don't care about and find something that's about 6 or 7 inches round and trace it so that you can cut out a nice circle. And does everybody have some loose catnip lying around? Probably.
Probably. I'm growing it in the yard. I've got some fresh. I can dry it.
Oh yeah. You know, it's funny how some cats like dry and some cats like fresh and not the other one. You know?
Yeah, some of my cats don't react to it at all. And then like I've got one who just sees it and tries to eat the entire bush.
Yeah, yeah. I need to have more live grass and growing things that I give to my cats on a regular basis so that they don't just completely binge on it when they do get it. But I'm terrible at growing things. So, all right, so you have your circle and then just take a couple of tablespoons or a couple teaspoons of loose catnip and put that inside. And then you probably have some twine lying around. You have some twine.
Is that catnip that you've got there? That's catnip you have there that you just put in? It almost looks like sand from here.
Yes, it's very fine grain. It's the good stuff.
Ah, yes, of course.
So you just take your little circle and then you kind of wrap it up like a little wonton, right? And bundle it up. And then I like to take a piece of twine, leave an end, and then just wrap it around really tight a bunch of times. And then trim it off and tie a nice tight knot. And now you've got, this kind of toy is in that sort of mouse prey category. And I always make sure that the ends are not too long so that they don't become a choking hazard. But you've got this cute little, I love just this knit fabric is just super easy to work with. The other thing you can do with used t-shirts is make t-shirt yarn. Have you ever made t-shirt yarn?
Nope, never even heard of it. Let's learn.
Oh my goodness. This is one of my most favorite things now, and it's one of my favorite materials to make cat toys with. So go on YouTube and find, and there's a million videos that show you how to cut t-shirt yarn. Basically, what you wind up doing is using sort of this bottom half. This is the top with the arms and stuff. You use this bottom half, and there's a special way that you cut it into, you could just cut strips, but if you cut it, you fold it over and you cut it only part way, and you wind up having, this is one t-shirt, and it's an entire ball, like a continuous strip of yarn. And you pull it tight so that you have the nice thin, it rolls over on itself, and you have this really wonderful material. So So look that up, how to make the t-shirt yarn, or you can just cut strips that are about 1 inch wide and then just pull them tight.
If I try this, I feel like it's going to end up like nailed it. You know, I'm going to, here's what it's supposed to look like. Here's what
I want to see that. I think you should do that. So, okay. So now once you just either cut strips or make the whole ball of yarn if you want. There's a few things that you can do. So these are some fun ones. Super easiest one, because this material is just fun and colorful and durable and recycled, and cats love to chew on it, but it's like safe, you know? I'm not gonna say anything's 100% safe. You always have to watch your cat around toys. But I cut 4 strips of different colors, about 5-6 inches long, and you're just gonna make a little spider, easy spider toy by tying a knot, tying them all in a giant knot right there. So that's, anyone can do this. Come on.
Easy spider.
And you can trim it if you easy spider. So you've just got this super fun toy that has these little legs that they're gonna chew on and fling around, and they can toss them. They're light and easy. The other thing is to just take 3 strips and make a little braided toy. So now you have a little lizard.
Oh.
Right? So just tie a knot, take 3 strips, tie a knot in one end, and then just braid it like you're braiding hair. And then at the end. So, and then to get creative with this stuff, just think about, you know, any kind of like macrame or tying knots and creating little pieces that look like different kinds of prey and give your cats something super fun to chase. And then you can get super fun and make a bird type toy. So tassels work really well with this material.
Did you make those out of the t-shirt yarn?
Yes. So I took that same, so I had just a wooden dowel lying around and some more of that twine. And let's see, I used duct tape. I just used simple duct tape to attach. Well, actually, let me do the other end first.
That's not simple duct tape. That's pretty duct tape.
I know, I have it in every color.
Of course you do.
So I made strips. Let's see, how many strips here? Like that. Okay, so take strips. This is super easy. Take the end of your twine and then leave a tail and tie a nice tight knot around the middle of the strips, right? You're just making a tassel like you would, people make tassels to go on gifts, right? So I tied it right in the middle. And then I take that little short tail and tuck it down. And then do the same thing we did with the catnip puff. Just wrap it around so it's nice and tight. So now it has a little wrap. Cut it off and tie it in a knot.
You're so good with those scissors. You're so accurate with those scissors.
Oh, wait. I did it wrong. Don't cut it off.
I was commenting on the scissors. I mean, your scissor work is second to none here.
Thank you.
Your tassel work, I don't know. I mean, I haven't ever watched anybody make a tassel before. When you said people put tassels on gifts, I was like, no, I don't.
Oh, you don't make homemade tassels?
I'm lucky if I can make a bow.
Okay.
Bows always look so bad.
Wrapping around. That's actually the piece you need. Wait, how did I do this last time? All right.
I believe in you.
I'm tying it in a knot. My husband's here to have lunch.
Oh, is he watching you?
Hi. Yes. The cat guy.
Hi, Mark. How are you? Good to see you.
You too.
You're squinting into like you're looking into like a fish tank or something. There he is. Do you guys share the studio? Because Mark, you make guitars, right?
Yes. Yeah, I do. I make stuff here in the other side, way in the other side, and then I teach actually how to do this.
How to make guitars.
How to make guitars, and the school that I went to learn how to do it is literally down the street from where our studio is. So I'm down there doing some of that most of the time too. So, you know.
does guitar maker have a name? Like I know a violin maker is like a luthier. What's a guitar maker?
Luthier.
Same.
Oh, same, cool. Very cool. That's really neat. So you guys like
instruments.
so she doesn't have the full 2,000 square feet then?
No.
Most you've got like a little corner.
Yeah, I have 300 square feet.
I mean, guitars aren't big. they fit in the lap.
Yeah, she has a lot of cardboard.
I have a lot of cardboard.
So much cardboard. Just you can build like
And duct tape.
and duct tape. We were just talking about the duct tape in every color.
She has every color.
I do have every color of duct tape.
And she has colors that are like patterns and stuff.
Yes.
Like, oh, it's great.
I feel like we need I feel like we need a tour. Have you tried constructing a guitar out of Kate's duct tape?
No, but I've used duct tape to fix guitars before, just to like make sure that they like, stick something back on and like, oh crap, we need to make this work. So here, let me just tape this on and go.
I've used hockey tape to fix accordions before.
Oh,
That would actually work good because if they leak air, you're out of luck.
That's what my accordion teacher taught me. He was teaching me how to fix the accordions as well, and he told me that was his secret. So now I've let everybody know, but he's not doing it anymore.
Okay, I remembered how to make
Got it! All right.
I'm gonna make soup.
Okay,
Thanks for filling time, Mark. It was good to see you.
first part is where you tie the knot in the middle. You leave that as the long string. And then you take another piece of twine. It was a while ago I made that prototype. And you wrap that around the neck because this will make it durable so that your cat can really grab onto it with their teeth and claws, and it will hold in place. Okay, so I don't know if you guys saw what happened there. I did that kind of. I'm not being very Martha Stewarty here.
It still looked good.
Okay, so now we've got the tassels. Okay, let me get you a close up here. A piece of twine holding the top of it, and then you've got your little let's make a tassel right here. That's the twine wrapping around. And now we have a long piece coming off the end, and our wooden dowel. You could use a chopstick for this as well. And that's where you are going to tape. Actually, it's better if you put a little hot glue in there first, but I don't have my glue gun fired up. So you attach that string firmly into place on that end of the dowel with tape that matches your colors, of course.
Of course.
There. Now we have
is.
the bird toy.
That does look nice.
Isn't that fun?
I like the chopstick idea.
I'm sure the kittens will love that. Yeah, chopsticks are great. You can do all sorts of wand toys and pointers. Like if you're doing clicker training, you need that
The wand.
thing. Yeah.
The target.
The target. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so Samantha Martin from Acrocat sent me one.
Oh yeah.
She like painted it. It's really cute. It's like silver and it has a little ball on it, and so that's my little target.
Perfect.
So I guess a chopstick could work. What do you do with the chopstick to make it? Do you just chopstick or?
Well, a lot. I've seen people glue like pom poms on the end, or I think Samantha's have like a wooden ball that's been painted. You just make it like so that it catches the cat's eye. I think is the most important part. So that it looks cute. You can have a little bouquet of them sitting in in a vase or something, right?
That would be cute. I've started to get concerned about teaching my cats things. Like I taught them how to high five, and now every time I'm eating, they smack me.
Oh, he's laughing at you.
It's just slap in the face fest from them because they just think treats fall out of me again.
That's awful. I have one more made with recycled materials.
Ooh, that looks pretty. What is that?
So this is recycled cat food bags, right? So the plastic bags that the big dry cat food comes in. Especially if you feed feral colonies, you have a lot of these. I like the kind that has a little bit of like a checkerboard pattern to the material itself, because it's hard, it doesn't tear, it's ripstop. And so it's more durable. And they have, what I like about them is they have that nice crunch. So cats who like to chew on things. I started designing cat toys with recycled cat food bags when I had Ando, who he didn't really have pica, but he chewed everything. He was just, loved him more than anything. He was just an instigator and a troublemaker. And so he would like put his head in my purse and open my mail and eat business cards and everything. So it was Mark's lunch in the microwave.
Oh. I thought something was about to blow up. You look so calm about it. That explains it. Carry on.
So they're great for cats that like to chew on something. Again, keep an eye out. You don't want anything that's starting to get destroyed. Take it away from your cat. But this is a great material, and their food came in it. So I usually wash these off so they're not really gross and greasy. But this one, I just cut 2 little pieces, and you actually want 2 pieces. So I cut 2 pieces that are about 2 inches by 5 inches. And then I put the colored sides out. Also, these bags come in all sorts of fun colors, and they have, you know, cats on them and fish and all sorts of fun things. So I think they're a really fun material.
So you don't buy your cat food for flavor, you buy it for color coordination.
I buy it for the raw material, the bag. Okay, and then you just do a little accordion fold with this. So back and forth. So you put the 2 pieces together, accordion fold, and you make about a 1/2 inch on each fold so that they're pretty small. Okay, so see how that is now an accordion?
Mm-hmm.
And it's 2 pieces together. I take a zip tie because I love zip ties because I use them for everything. They're great for making cat toys. I don't know if everybody has zip ties lying around. I have
very serious about that.
I do. I have a lot of zip ties.
You could sell Hauspanther zip ties.
I know, right? That's a good thing. Okay, so I put it right around the middle of this little accordion and pull it as tight as you possibly can. And so then as soon as it's tight, you can snip off that extra end. And now you fan this little accordion out. And because the material is nice and stiff, you can kind of work it. And then I pulled the 2 layers apart. So the colors are facing out. But I pulled it. We made these at Cat Camp last year.
Cat Camp?
Yes, in New York. Jackson's Cat Camp. And so I have a lot of this material. And so now it's kind of like this little, almost like a pom-pom thing. But it's got all sorts of little surfaces that cats can grab. And it's super light. It's a really light material. So they can flip it around and drag it in their mouth and chase it around. And they like it. So again, this is just a starting point. Like, I think if you got these materials, like, I would love to see people come up with a variation on this. Like, how creative can you be? So if you do, please post it somewhere and tag Hauspanther, and I want to see it.
Yeah, that would be, I'm trying to think, like, how big can they get?
Huh?
How big can you make those things? Like,
here's the cat.
That would be cool. Like a really super big one. Every time someone mentions Crinkly, did you ever see that one Mike Rowe video when he was like back in the 80s or really early 90s trying to sell the cat sack on like QVC?
No.
And he keeps talking about how cats love the crinkle. And he's on for like 2 hours with just like a cat sack trying to make it interesting. So every time someone mentions cats like crinkle, it's the first thing I think of.
I have to go look it up.
It's totally worth it if you have not seen it. It is truly some of his best work. So we had a couple questions come through. They look a little bit like behavior-like questions. They might not be the best choice, but I will let you sort of decide. So like Angela was asking, I got my first cat, his first condo tower. He always sat in the front window, which is where we put it, and he hasn't touched it. It's steady, has high and low places. Is there any way to attract him to his new tower instead of him climbing my entertainment center?
Okay, so wait, so let me understand. So the new tower, so he used to sit in the window before you got the tower, and then you got the tower, and now he won't go near it.
That's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like? Okay, so I wonder how long it's been. So it basically introducing a new thing into the environment. The cat might be a little bit overwhelmed by it, might not like the smell of it. One of the big things that I know a lot of people recommend is put something on and in the tower that already has the cat's scent on it. Right? So a bed that they've already slept on somewhere else, a blanket, whatever. And then that will hopefully start to make it more attractive. And there's always good old trying catnip and treats and luring them onto it, playing with them on and around the new piece of furniture, getting them to basically understand, oh, this is for me. This is something that I can use and feel comfortable with. The first thing would always be placement, but I mean, it sounds like trying it in the window is the best possible option, but you might, that may be part of the problem. So I would try different places. And that's the nice thing about cat towers and trees is that you can try them in different places. You can move them around. Also, maybe think about, is there the top of a bookshelf or a pot shelf or something that could be like a destination? And now you're starting to build your superhighway. So position the cat tree so that now the cat gets to go up the cat tree and then onto this new shelf where maybe you put a bed or a blanket or a piece of carpet to make it a non-slip surface. And there's a reason for them to continue up the tree and onto this other shelf. Does that make sense?
Making like a little highway.
Yeah, exactly. So, integrate it into a highway. Start to build a highway with it rather than just having it sitting by itself in front of the window. That might make it more attractive.
Very good. Thank you for answering that question. Okay. I don't know if we had other questions. We did have some comments here. You were talking about the door, and somebody did say that they had a 6-foot kennel door, which now peace reigns. So that's nice.
And actually replaced the door, sounds like.
6-foot kennel door is that's a big door.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You could just buy, it's basically like buying a pre-made door, like a screen door sort of. But
and our same guest here also said, instead of making cat toys, she or he, I'm so sorry, I don't know, scooping the poop into the bags.
Oh, to use the leftover cat bag. Yes, I've seen that as well.
Some people make toys, some people put poop in it.
Yep, reuse for whatever purposes.
Let's see. And then I think there was one more question that was up here somewhere. Give me just a moment. Scrolling through while you were making toys, and I was happily watching. So Jean asks, one of my cats went from being the kind of cat you could pick up off a chair, sit down, and plop them back on your lap with nothing but purrs and limb arrangement. Now it's a massive paws, claws, and jaws when you try to regain your chair. Any ideas? So that sounds a little bit more like a behavior question. I don't know if you feel comfortable answering that. Otherwise, we'll probably have DQ back on Friday if Jean wants to come back and talk to him about that. But any suggestions from your end?
That's a DQ question. It sounds much more like sort of a behavior interaction thing, as opposed to environmental. My kind of focus is like, what things in the environment have changed? So actually, that question about the cat tree in front of the window, that's a tricky one, but that's right up my alley, like the kinds of things I like to figure out. Now, of course, I mean, I have my own cats and I have all sorts of weird behavior things that I observe with them, but so like I said, I'm not a behaviorist. I'm just a designer who has a lot of cats. And so I think that it's important for you to design thinking, which is sort of this idea of how designers, and I talk about like environmental designers, architects, product designers, people who create things to make our lives better, right? The way they think is is really through observation and thinking outside the box and coming up with creative solutions to problems, or maybe even identifying problems you didn't even know. So in any situation where you have a question about your cat, I would just, encourage you to use this kind of thinking where you're like really problem solving, and you're not coming at it with the first solution that you think is the reason, but you're like stepping back and looking at all the things, like what about the cat behavior? What about the environment? What has changed? What have I not considered? And really thinking creatively to solve some kinds of problems like that. And that can be for any sort of behavior problem with cats or with other humans too. So
fair points. Thank you so much. So if we have a couple minutes left, did you have any other toys, or is there anything else that you would like to share with us before we wrap up?
I just hope everybody's hanging in there, and there's lots of things that I think, lots of opportunity if you're spending more time at home with your cats these days, opportunity to really observe them and see, hey, like what is going on in their lives, and is there anything I can do to help them live their best life? And that's sort of everything I do every day is like, yes, cats can just get by with like not much, oh, my cat doesn't need anything. Oh, my cat's old. Oh, my cat doesn't like to play with toys. That's what I hear a lot of the time. But if you experiment and try some things, move the furniture around, make some of these toys, give them a windowsill, put a bird feeder outside the window to create cat TV, you could really be bringing out the best in your cats, and giving them the best life possible. You don't want them to just survive. You want them to thrive. You want them to, and you do that by really tapping into all these natural instincts and creating an environment and enrichment and all these things that lets them be these little hunters and be curious and have places where they can hide away and feel safe and have territorial ownership. So this is a great time to really be to be looking at that. And somebody's asking about the difference between the two books.
Yep. I was just going to put that one up there. There you go.
Great question. So Catification is the first book, and that is definitely where I would start. That is where we lay out all of the basic concepts of catification, environmental enrichment from our perspective, what cats' natural instincts are and how it relates to the design of their environment, how to understand your own cat individually, and then kind of an overview of creative ideas and things that other people have done in all those different areas. But it's like an introduction to the topic. Catify to Satisfy is the second book, and that's like, level 2, right? So each chapter in Catify to Satisfy goes further in depth into the big topics. So climbing, litter, scratching, and then we also talk about base camp, which is the idea of creating a space when you bring a new cat into a house, and introducing them and how the environment plays a role in that. So so that's really it. It's kind of like the introduction and the overall concept, and then like, okay, more advanced, let's talk about this a little bit more.
Very good. That makes sense. And is there anything you want people to know about what you've got coming up or going on, or anything you want people to watch out for?
Yeah, definitely. Check out Hauspanther, HAUS, hauspanther.com. I'm always putting new and fun stuff up there. I've got lots of ideas for products and environmental design and stuff like that. And one of the big topics that this whole thinking about the, masks. So part of, due to necessity, I did convert part of my production facility here that normally makes cat toys into creating cat masks. But I have been like swamped. No, not masks for cats. Masks for people with a lot of cat fabric. And so I haven't really publicized that too much. So if you're watching, you have the inside scoop. I've been swamped with orders just from friends and family. But if you really want one, want to see what's available, you can go to shop.hauspanther.com and then just search for mask, because you have to know that they're there. So there's a little secret.
Did I give away a secret?
Yes. That's what?
I said, did I give away a secret?
That's a secret. So check it out. I've got some really fun fabrics and stuff. And that is definitely been one of the fun things. The other thing is that in this whole like spending a lot more time at home with your cats, the big topic that I know is on my mind and probably on everybody's is litter. And so in the coming weeks, I'm not sure exactly when, I am going to do a whole deep dive into litter, the whole world of litter, my favorite things, from boxes to litter to scoops to mats to how do you organize and set up your litter area, all the way to my favorite way to reduce and eliminate odors around the litter box. And so that will be fun. So if you want to make sure to see all of that, sign up for my email, which you can do on hauspanther.com. And then you can also follow on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter.
And they're all Hauspanther, like I spelled it here, right?
Yes, spelled correctly. And so, yes, and if anybody has any questions, you can contact me through there. Let me know if you need anything. Yeah, this has been super fun.
Thank you so much for showing us all these awesome toys. People know where to find you, and they also know where to find Treehouse, treehouseanimals.org if anybody has any questions. Thank you all so much for being here to watch with us. Kate, thank you. Mark, thank you for showing up. Kate, don't go anywhere. I'm going to end this, and I'll just want to say thank you to you. But thanks to everybody. It was nice to see you all. Have a great day.